Good afternoon, everybody. Hello and welcome along to your afternoon rabble here on the Rangers Rabble podcast. How is everybody? How was your weekend? That's the most important question. How was your weekend? Of course, most people are probably still off as well, with it being the Easter holidays. Most people, Brian, not us. We're workaholic.
No,
How are you?
no, we're here. We're here every day. Nice to see you again. Been a while, so yeah, it's been a good weekend. I was out west. I was out by Kyle of Lachaush and out the west. So took a wee trip out there.
Didn't know you spoke Gaelic, Brian.
No, certainly not. I was on the cusp of the Gaelic speaking fraternity, but no. Lots of tourists around. The sunshine was out. It was a great day. Some spectacular drive out there. Came by Kintail and through that way. So it was a lovely day.
I'm not gonna lie. I've never heard of that place.
If you go south from Kyle of Lachaush, it comes out towards Drumnadrochit sort of way, Glen Urquhart way.
I've never heard that. Kyle of Lachaush.
You've never heard of Kyle of Lachaush?
Nope.
The gateway to Skye.
I mean, I've heard of Skye.
Yes.
I've never heard of that other place you're talking about.
To get to Skye, you have to go through Kyle of Lachaush.
Yes, well, no, listen, fair enough. Well, I went to Cumbernauld.
Slightly different scenery there.
That's where I've spent most of the weekend. Yes, you're still getting the full 30 minutes, Timothy Sharp. Village before Skye Bridge.
Yes, there you go.
From Fergie. Yeah.
It's beautiful out there. It's certainly a trip you've got to make.
Well, obviously, if Cumbernaulds my main port of call, then yeah, I do need to get out a little bit more. That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. Oh, so Brian, just before, we normally don't talk Rangers until the last kind of 15 or so minutes. But just a quick one before we get to question of the day. How are you feeling now that you've got pretty much nothing to play for?
The thing is, we all knew this day was coming. It was just a matter of when. I'm kind of glad that it's all done. I think we all felt that the Bilbao game was maybe just a step too far for this squad. Going by how we've been playing, injuries, just the general sort of feeling over the squad. I think that we all felt that this tie was just a little bit too far for us, and it turned out that way. Albeit we didn't get helped by some scandalous refereeing decisions, but apart from that, I still think we were very poor over the two legs. Albeit, as I say, we were down to 10 men for 80 minutes of the first leg. Over the two legs, I think Bilbao were probably worth their win. Although, as I say, a couple of refereeing decisions didn't help us at all.
No, and I suppose we're at that point now where I need to pretend that there's the season's still interesting, so that people still tune in to watch.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, the very fact that we've still to tie up second. That's that's still got to be done. You know what I mean? So there is still something to play for in that sense. As you say, it's a difficult one to quantify that, there's no trophies available now, but I think that reality set in a good while ago. It's just a fact that it's now hit us, very hard between the stones, and I'm afraid that's the reality. So it's just about, we all knew this day was coming. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, let's lighten the mood a wee bit, shall we? Because that is a bit. And by the way, moving forward, folks, with the afternoon rambles, you're going to decide the agenda of the show. So the best questions and the best comments I will absolutely bring up. But of course, the main question is this.
It's the question of the day. If you love a good question, then we're coming your way with the question of the day. Question of the day.
And just before we get to question of the day, I have to bring this up from Dougal. Me, Connor, and Alex just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who joined us over the weekend for WrestleMania. 8 hours, and they were there with us every step of the way. It was always a plan of mine to not just bring you football, not just bring you Rangers-related content on this channel, but to bring you all sorts of content. That's why we've got, the Rabble Network, we've got the member stuff, and we bring you all sorts of different sport. But the guys decided that they wanted to do the WrestleMania watch-alongs public for everybody, and they were there Saturday and Sunday with their watch-along. So thank you to every single person who tuned in. I know they loved it. I know they enjoyed it. I know the people watching enjoyed it. And I get comments all the time going, "Oh, this is a Rangers channel, blah, blah, blah." We want to open this channel up as much as we possibly can. It'll always be 95% Rangers, but the watch along went really well. I know loads of people enjoyed it. So for those who enjoyed it, thank you for tuning in.
I'll tell you what, there's no chance Connor was making this morning show, was he?
Oh God, no. No.
That's a fair shift though. Two 4-hour shows back to back. That's some going. Fair play.
Yes, no, absolutely fair play to the guys. Fair play to the guys. Right, okay, so your question of the day today with Bryan going to right?
Kyle of House.
Kyle of Cumbernauld, with Bryan going there. What is your favourite holiday destination in Scotland?
That's a good one.
Your favourite holiday destination in Scotland? I was, I can't remember how long ago it was, but me and the missus were driving through the Cairngorms a while ago. You might remember, Bryan, because we've seen
that was New Year.
That was New Year. That's what it was. And on the way home, because we drove through at night, but on the way home, you forget how beautiful a country Scotland is if you don't go really round about it much. I was fortunate. I drove coaches for a long time, so I got to see a lot of Scotland, a lot of the UK. But Scotland is, for me, probably the most beautiful country in the world. But yeah, Bryan, favourite holiday destination in Scotland?
I like going up towards sort of Ullapool, sort of Gairloch ways. It's a beautiful part of the country up there. I believe you've been up there with the bus as well. It's just stunning. There's a particular road that you go down, and it leads to the Loch Marie, and you start really high, and you go slowly down this hill, and it opens up, and it's beautiful. It's one of the best drives I've ever seen. And yeah, as I say, I love going out the west coast. It's really nice. But yeah, out Gairloch, Ullapool way out. I couldn't live there. As I said yesterday, you've got to going and living in that areas of the country. It's a life choice because you're literally away from everything, shops, petrol station. You have to make at least a 15-20 mile journey just to get fuel, sometimes to get shopping. So it's not an easy way of living, but it's an idyllic way of living, and it's stunning. So that's out the Ullapool, sort of the Gairloch way for me. Anywhere up that way is lovely for me.
I mean, yeah, my family, well, my stepdad's mum and dad have got a caravan in St Maurins in Fife, and we used to go there, and we would, back when I was half fit, and we would run up the back to Pittenweem, and then you would have like St Andrews. It would take you to St Andrews, and stuff like that. Some funny answers coming in, to be fair. And you would also go through Anstruther, where, as John B. Hall was saying, they had the famous fish and chip shop in Anstruther that all the celebrities went to. And when you go into the chippy, I remember Tom Hanks, I think, and all that. There was loads of famous folk that went there. But that part of Fife is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the chippy, but it's a really good. There's actually a queue outside the door. It's that that popular. People travel from miles over the UK to go to this chippy. It's really good. I've been there myself, so yeah, if you're ever in the Fife area, go to Anstruther. It's worth it.
Yes, absolutely it is. It's absolutely beautiful. According to Singing the Blues, Scotland is only bettered by New Zealand.
Never been to New Zealand, so I can't.
I mean, I might go there one day and make us off Flight Simulator. But actually, flying to New Zealand is just a big no-no for me, I think. It's too far away.
I would imagine it's at least a 2-day mission. You'd have to go somewhere, stop somewhere, go another place, stop. It's probably even a 3-day, to get there. It's literally the other side of the world, literally.
Yes. I don't think you could get any further away.
No,
so
Fiji's probably the only other place that's further that way in the time zones.
I have to say, though, the place that I've probably visited most when I've not been working or whatever, it's between Pitlochry. I think Pitlochry's beautiful. I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to go with Pitlochry. I've been there quite a number of times. Obviously, Bryan, it's a place that you'll know quite well.
Yes.
I've got to say, I think it's absolutely beautiful. Dad Apostles Blue Boots is saying Ullapool have a great chippy.
Yes, they do, and they've got a great seafood place as well.
Yes,
if you like.
Yes, seafood and eat it.
Seafood, yes. Very good.
Alan's saying Campbelltown is great for a holiday. I don't know how great it would be for a holiday, but obviously me and Mark went through to Campbelltown for the funeral of Denzel Merrick. And I have to say it is one of the most beautiful places I've been to. The scenery through in Campbelltown. I don't know if you've been, Bryan.
No, I've not went down that far. I've been to Stranraer, but I believe Campbelltown's even further down. So no, I've not made it all the way down that end of Scotland, but I believe it's nice.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Oban. Yes, Oban. Oban's actually lovely. It's lovely. Wolf is saying Campbelltown is top notch. It's St Andrews, sorry. It's top notch.
Yeah,
if I could read properly.
St Andrews is nice, yes. Very nice. Go when it's not this. If you manage to go when it's not uni season, it's much better.
Test video. Right now, the furthest I can afford is Postle.
Oh God, that's not good news.
Right now, the furthest I can afford is Motherwell. Yeah.
Well, Cumbernauld clearly is your furthest you can go.
Oh, actually, Cumbernauld. That's a fair shout. The coastal road in Fife is Braw.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you basically just do a big loop of Fife, and it's really good.
And fantastic, Mr. Fox. Inverness and the beach at Nairn is lovely. Inverness is a nice place. I like Inverness.
If you go a little bit further along, Mr. Fox, there's the Findhorn, and then there's Rosyal Beach as well. They're just as good.
Bryan, I have to ask: is Forres a place worth people visiting?
Yes, it's very nice, very quiet town. Plenty to do, plenty of historical stuff. We're a royal borough as well, so it's a very historical town to be in, because there's a particular landmark in the town where the Wolf of Badenoch made his home for a while. So yeah, there's lots of historical stuff. And we have Nelson's Tower, which is a big tower in the town overlooking the whole town, and it's dedicated to Admiral Nelson, who won the Battle of Trafalgar.
Yeah, there you go. Timothy Sharp saying North Berwick.
Nice, yeah, another nice place.
Yes,
I think Scotland's lucky in the sense that most places along the coast are like East Coast, North, West. I think all of them are brilliant, aren't they? Anywhere on the coast is really nice.
Yeah. Shawlands. Well, if you say so, Scott. I mean, Stephen Gillespie, he's been to Falkirk Sheriff Court a few times. Apparently that's nice. Yeah, go to a Forest Mechanics game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian's been to a few of those. Brian's been
Yes.
to a few of those. Right, okay, folks. Well, thank you for your answers for the question of the day. I wasn't expecting it to go down that well, but it seemed to go pretty well. So we're back with the question of the day tomorrow, and now it's time for the favourite part of the afternoon rabble. No, it's not talking about Rangers. It's not talking about tactics. It's not talking about takeovers. It's quite simply this.
Who am I?
And I refuse to bring up that comment for Gallant because I've not quite worked out. I know that it's a joke, but I've not quite worked out what the joke is.
It's maybe connected to this one.
Tignabruch?
I have never been there, but I've just Googled where it is, and it looks very nice.
Yes, there we go. But yeah, I think it might be linked to that, and I don't trust Gallant. I just don't trust him. So I'm not bringing that up. Right, okay. Now, members, Bryan wrote this.
I think I've done a better job this one.
Well, I'm just saying Bryan's wrote it.
Well, why did I have to write it?
Yes, never mind that. Right, but Bryan's wrote it. So, here we go. Today's Who Am I is, I never played in the country of my birth, but played in 3 top European leagues. I never won the Champions League, but was very prolific at one major club, winning 8 trophies. And winning the same European trophy with 2 different clubs. I played well over 50 times for my country, albeit they are a small nation. Who am I? You happy with that, Bryan?
Mm-hmm.
It is now along the bottom of the screen. I will read it out one more time. I never played in the country of my birth, but played in 3 top European leagues. I never won the Champions League, but was very prolific at one major club, winning 8 trophies. And winning the same European trophy with 2 different clubs. I played well over 50 times for my country, albeit they are a small nation. Who am I? That is better, Bryan, than your previous attempts.
And you know what the best laugh is? I started writing that at 25 past 12. I literally had no time to think about it. So maybe that's the key. Don't think about it. Do it quickly, and it's much better. If you think too much, you just start going down rabbit holes and start.
You do. So you absolutely do. You absolutely do. Right, Bryan. The title of the video is "It's All About Gerrard." That seems to be doing the rounds quite heavily. There's people who are convinced that Steven Gerrard will be the next Rangers manager. Thoughts?
Oh, this is a difficult one, isn't it? I think domestically, towards the end of his tenure, he was starting to get things right. He was, when he had won the league, obviously, he had built up a 6-point lead by the time he'd left us. So he was starting to get the knack of domestic football where the last 3 managers have failed. But the guy was starting to get things right. And of course, then he decided, I think external factors didn't help in the sense that he felt he needed backing to go to the next level and the board didn't back him. So he felt that he'd done all he can. It's a bit of a worry in the sense that he's went to Villa, didn't do well. He's then went to Saudi Arabia, hasn't done particularly well. So there's that sort of aspect to throw in it as well. And then the big how would you call it? The big elephant in the room is who was his assistant. Mm-hmm. What is going to happen if Gerrard comes back? Is he going to want to re-employ him? Because I don't think that would go down very well with the fans if he returned as the assistant manager. So this is a really tricky one. I don't see the board going this way. I know bookies are very rarely wrong, but I think they'll want a total fresh approach. I can see why people maybe want Gerrard, but I think folk are wanting a brand new slate here. I think somebody in his ilk, yes, I could see that, but I think a lot of waters went under the bridge now, and I think Gerrard's just no. I don't think he's the guy now.
I think a lot of people probably feel that same way, and John Hall does. Not for Gerrard myself, but Bryan. At least he gets Scottish football, which let's be honest, for the first couple of years of the takeover is going to be incredibly important.
Yes, it really is. We have to start getting domestically things correct. It's all very well getting to the quarters of the UEFA Cup and doing well that, but we have got to start making an assault on domestic stuff. It's been far too long that we are winning the odd cup here, the odd cup there, and losing the leagues before they even split. This is just simply not the way things should be happening at Rangers, I'm afraid, and it's went on too long, and I'm afraid we have definitely got to start getting our house in order and start operating better in Scotland, and beating the other teams in Scotland, because let's be fair, this season's not been about losing to Celtic 3 times. We've actually been okay against Celtic this year. It's the fact that we haven't been able to put away teams well below us as far as budgets, as far as club statures, the Motherwells, the Hibses, the St Mirrens. We've just not been able to put these teams away, and that's the thing that irks a lot of people. See, if we'd lost to Celtic 3 times, you would kind of go, right, okay, they're better than us. Fair enough. But it's the fact that Celtic have, I think somebody in the comments maybe a couple of pods ago put that Celtic have sort of dropped 14 points in the last 2 or 3 months, and we're still how many points behind? That's the simple fact. We have been simply not good enough against the other teams in Scotland, and not against Celtic. That has been the problem.
No, listen, it absolutely has. It absolutely has. And I will just bring this up quickly for the people out there. Gary Mack was Gerrard's assistant, Bryan. I assume you're referring to his first team coach.
Yes, that's exactly who I was meaning. Yes, sorry. Yeah. But yeah, it's still a conundrum. It's still a conundrum, because I dare say if Gerrard came back, he would fancy taking him back in, and I don't think that would go down well.
Yes, and Paul's asking, Martin, any new manager that comes in, do they get a 1-year rolling contract? That they're very few and far between, Bryan.
It's not a great show in faith, is it? But at the same time, you don't want to give guys 3 or 4 year deals. I would say at the very most, you give a manager a 2-year deal. 2-year deal at the most. Because I think then it's much and such the same as when an international team gets a new manager. They give him a 2-year contract to see him through the qualification process to the next major event. Much like what England have given Thomas Tuchel. They've given him a contract till the end of the World Cup, and if things go well, they'll keep him on. But if things don't go well, they'll let him go. So I would assume, I think you've certainly got to give a manager a decent amount of time, but at the same time, a year's rolling contract's not a great show of faith. So it's a difficult one. Yeah, I appreciate that our rivals along the M8 are very prolific in doing that, but I don't like 1-year rolling deals. It's open. I suppose it's open both ways. It's open in the fact that if this manager starts doing well, then somebody can pinch him off us for little, next to nothing. So, but it's a difficult one. These contracts are difficult because you've got to give a manager, I would say, 2 summers at least to see what you can do. Because trying to overhaul a team in 1 summer and 1 January window is just not enough for me. It's just simply not enough. So I would give the next manager at the very most a 2-year deal.
Well, Gallant Pioneer is saying, I don't want Gerrard, I want a whole new, fresh approach, which I think, Bryan, would probably be the smart thing to do, regardless of, and look, I get the arguments, Gerrard knows Scotland, he knows the game, the old firms won't be a worry to him, he knows what to do in them, he'll know the calibre of player probably required to come in, but I think his supporters now with this takeover, which we'll talk about in a wee sec, this takeover coming in, I think the fans just want something new across the board.
Yes, I think they do.
Is my guess.
Yeah, and John, you're perfectly correct. Clement didn't get 2 windows, but things were really bad before even the second window appeared. So I think that's why he didn't get any longer. But yeah, it's arguably one of the biggest sort of things that they can do. I think the other big thing they've got to do is if they're wanting a sporting director, they've got to get him in first. They've got to get a sporting director in first because then he'll oversee the next manager. So for me, I think they've got to even start looking for a sporting director first if that's the way they're wanting to go, because then he'll be able to then select a manager that he's going to work under, that they can have a good chemistry and they can have a good relationship and sign the right players that they both want. So I think the sporting director's a first port of call before a manager.
Oh, nearly.
Nearly.
By the way, actually, this is a good point for Tim. At least we know what we'll get with Gerrard. Every manager is a gamble. How much of a gamble now would this version of Steven Gerrard be? Went to Aston Villa, Bryan. Didn't pull up any trees. Look how well Unai Emery's done since he came in there.
Yep.
And then he went to the relative obscurity of Saudi Arabia for the money. Nobody goes to Saudi Arabia for the football.
No.
And it really didn't work out there for him either. So how much of a gamble would this version of Steven Gerrard be?
It's a gamble in the sense that he's coming off 2 failed jobs. At least when we brought him in, he was brand new. He had no scar tissue to speak of. He was brand new at the job. He was brash. He was very confident in what he was doing. He believed he was right. So it's a big gamble in my book. This if Gerrard was appointed, because he's got a lot of scar tissue now with failing at 2 jobs. I think if you fail at 1 job, it's something, and you come back and you do well, that's different. But to have relative success at Rangers and then failing at Villa, failing in Saudi, that's two failures back to back, and that knocks your confidence. I don't care who you are, because you start questioning your methods and how everything operates. So no, there is pressure on him wherever he goes, and I get why people think that Gerrard, he does well domestically. I can see that, but I'm not one for going back managers. It doesn't usually work
Unless you're Walter Smith.
Unless you're Walter Smith, yes, that's exactly where I was going. Exactly where I was going with that. It's the only time it's really worked for us is when Walter Smith came back. So, it's no. I think I'm with a lot of the people in the comments. Something fresh, something new.
Yes, right. Just over a minute, folks, to get your answers in for the Who Am I? I haven't seen Multiple Man answer yet. I don't know if Multiple Man's.
Haven't seen Handyman either.
Handyman's answered. Has he?
Oh,
yes,
good.
he has. Yes, he absolutely has. So get your answers in. The clues are along the bottom of the screen. You have actually exactly 1 minute. There we go. Exactly 1 minute to get your answers in for the Who Am I. And Bryan, as it's been reported widely across the board, Andrew Kavanagh and the 49ers have finalised a route that will secure a 51% controlling interest at Rangers. There was a lot of rumours flying about the Easdales putting blockers on it, etc., but it looks as if that will not be an issue. They can keep their shares as long as they come absolutely nowhere near our football club. I don't care what they do. I never want to see them near Ibrox. But yeah, it looks as though what we've been saying for a while is that this takeover is actually 100% done, and it should be announced. Well, I'm not going to put a time on it because I don't know a timeline, but sooner rather than later.
Yes, it appears that way. Much to the dismay of several Celtic bloggers that might have had us admin 2 and go and bust again and all that sort of nonsense. So yeah, it's quite funny how things turn around. But yeah, it looks as though it's I would say 100% going to get done, and it's just a case of when the new owners dare to raise their head above the parapets and say, announced that the deal is done. So exciting times.
I would imagine, Brian, these American guys, as soon as that deal is done, they'll be straight in front of a camera.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
As soon as humanly possible. In fact, they'll probably have interviews recorded before the deal's signed, because we're talking about Americans here.
Yes. And as you know, the Americans don't mess around. When they do something, they want to do, they do things properly. And I think it wouldn't be too much of a stretch. As soon as the season's finished, you might hear something.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the season's over and everything's sort of tied up, the league, Scottish Cup, once all that's all out of the way, I wouldn't be surprised if you hear something then. Late May, early June, I think that would be a reasonable timestamp to put on it. So, because they'll want their sporting director and their manager in ASAP, because they realise that time's upon us, and that the Champions League qualifiers are in early mid-July. Is it early mid-July? So,
Brian, can I put extreme pettiness on it? Like extreme pettiness.
Absolutely.
You know, when I would want it announced the day of the Scottish Cup final.
That'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
That's exactly the day I want it announced. Just out of pure sheer pettiness. Just that's all, for no other reason. Day of the Scottish Cup final, 5 minutes before kick-off, Rangers investors complete takeover, and then nobody cares about the Scottish Cup final.
I'm all for that, Martin. I'm all about that petty shithousery. I'm loving that. So yeah, that's right up my street. Right up my street.
Oh God, yeah, that's absolutely when I would want that done. Anyway, we will talk more about the takeover tonight. We will delve into some individual players, the manager search. Everything will be on at 7:30, and of course before the Monday night rabble, Brian, we have the Rangers Women's Show, and I don't think it will be the happiest women's show you've ever done.
No, it's a bit of a mixed one this week, because obviously we had the tremendous win midweek against Glasgow City, where we managed to get ourselves back top of the league. Unfortunately, yesterday we succumbed to a loss against Hibs, so it's going to be a mixed one tonight. It's going to be a mixed one in the sense that we did a tremendous job beating Glasgow City midweek and then losing to Hibs, so it's a mixed bag tonight, but I'm quite sure the guys will be desperate to get their teeth into this, because they've went from one extreme to the other in a few days.
Yes, they most certainly have. Following the men is what they need to be doing. Right, so some answers for today's Who Am I? Right, we have Ariel Castro. I don't know who that is.
Washing up liquid, no?
That's a joke from Gallant, which it probably is. And yeah, is that a washing up liquid mixed with a dictator? I don't know, possibly. Alexander Chleb from Singing the Blues. Van Nistelrooy from Scott. Singing the Blues second guess, Eider Gudjonsson. The Snipers went Gudjonsson. Dougals went Pavel Nedved and the original R9. Handyman has went Mkhitaryan as well. So I think you've stumped a lot of people, Brian, because not many answers in.
No, have you any ideas, Martin?
Absolutely zero.
Not even a guess.
Not even a guess.
What if I told you he started his career at Manchester United?
Ooh. Started his career at Manchester United.
What if I told you he went to 2 continental clubs after that? One signing, and then a loan, and then back to Manchester United? Barcelona and Bayern Munich?
I should know this.
He won the Cup Winners' Cup with Manchester United, scoring the winning goal.
No.
He then won the Cup Winners' Cup with Chelsea.
Not the Cup Winners' Cup.
Mm-hmm. And multiple man has finally got it.
Mark Hughes, yeah.
Mark Hughes, yes. Yeah. Mark Hughes. Played 72 times for Wales. Never played in Wales professionally.
That's a good show.
Mark Hughes was today's Who Am I? Won all his major trophies with Manchester United, with leagues, FA Cups and stuff. Won obviously the Cup Winners' Cup with Manchester United, and then he won it with Chelsea as well. So yeah.
Do you know what? I wasn't playing. It's funny how multiple man's not in when he doesn't have a clue what the answer is, and he waits until conveniently after the time to jump in. What I will say is that because of that, I do win. So, you know, the members are a lot closer to the magical number 10 than me, to be fair, in sets. But yeah, Brian, we need to get you to do this more often.
But it's the same as the song goes, Martin, we'll fight till the day is done.
Yes, we will. We will absolutely keep fighting. I could maybe still make it to that magical number 10 in sets. Who knows? Like I say, folks, listen, we are back tonight at 6:30 for the Rangers Women's Show, 7:30 for your Monday night rabble. Just because the season's done doesn't mean the rabble's done. We will keep you entertained for the next 5 games of the season and beyond. Even when the season's done, we will still be here every Monday and Friday. So, Brian, my friend, thank you very much.
Not a problem. Really enjoyed that one.
Yes, James, you're far too late to hit out with the Mark Hughes. You're far too late, my friend. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, everybody participating in the question of the day, the who am I. As everybody knows, look, this is a show that's a wee bit of a laugh and a joke. We have a wee 15, 16, 17 minutes of nonsense, talk a wee bit of Rangers, just to lighten up people's day and make them feel happy. That's all it's for, folks. So listen, thank you everybody who's tuned in. Make sure you join us tonight at 6:30. Give the guys and girls some love on the women's show before you join us at 7:30. So until then, folks, stay safe. Stay safe. See, now I'm talking Gaelic. Stay safe, and we shall speak very, very soon.